historicity of the Gospels is
or the accuracy, even the accuracy.
Yeah, well, the accuracy. I mean, the first thing that scholars started noting when they started studying the Bibles with a critical eye was that the different accounts are sometimes at odds with each other. Matthew and Mark will tell the same story, but there'll be an inconsistency that you can't straighten out.
Important ones or just kind of tangential, meaningless ones?
Some of both.
Okay, tell us some of the more important ones so we don't just get these dismissed as like, articles, different, the versus an or,
Yeah. Well, there are lots of big ones. I mean, one big one refers to something we were talking about earlier. Did Jesus call himself God? In the Gospel of John, that's all Jesus talks about, is how he came from heaven as a divine being to bring salvation to earth, and that he is equal with God the Father. I and the Father are one. Before Abraham was, I am. If you've seen me, you've seen the Father. So these divine claims for himself that Jesus makes in the Gospel of John are completely missing from Matthew, Mark, and Luke. Matthew, Mark, and Luke are always seen as being earlier than John, and they're based on earlier written sources. And so none of those three and none of their earlier sources had Jesus say any such thing. It just makes you wonder if Jesus really was going around calling himself God in his public ministry. That would obviously be the most important thing that he was saying. I mean, what could be more important than that he's calling himself God? How is it possible that these earlier authors simply didn't mention that part? It's like it didn't occur to them this might be important to know that he called himself God, and so that would be something that's rather important. What was Jesus' view of himself?